Breaking news here in Washington. The House just passed that massive $1.7 trillion spending bill to avoid a government shutdown just as the holidays approach us. ABC's Jay O'Brien joining us from Washington along with attorney Jeff Robbins. So, Jay, just looking at the live shot from the House floor, a significant number of lawmakers not present there for the vote. So let's talk about just how they got this done and how it all came together, and it moved pretty fast.
Yeah, this process begins yesterday, Kira, with the Senate. So the Senate passes the omnibus after drawn-out negotiations in both chambers. There's a bit of a hiccup there because there's an amendment about Title 42. That gets taken out, passes the Senate yesterday, and then it goes onto the House floor. That's the Senate floor from yesterday, 68 yeas, 29 nays. And then, of course, today the vote comes up in the House this afternoon, and it passes there 225 to 201. One person voted present. That was Rashida Tlaib. And then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, another notable Democrat, voted no on this. There were 9 Republicans who voted yes, but as you said, there was a lot of what's called proxy voting. Proxy voting is, and that's the House floor there, right as passage of the bill was nearing. Proxy voting is when you don't vote in person and you have a fellow member of the Congress cast your vote for you. It was implemented for COVID-19. It's supposed to really only be used for COVID-19, but it's a holiday weekend, and you have a lot of people voting proxy. Their methods and their reasoning for that, I'll let you make up your mind as to why. But again, an empty House floor because you have so many proxy votes taking place. Again, 230 registered to vote by proxy. We're still trying to work out exactly how many voted by proxy, because just because you register doesn't mean you have to vote by proxy. But again, the top line being the omnibus has passed the House. They averted a government shutdown by their deadline of tonight at midnight, and now it goes to President Biden, where he's expected to sign it, and the government will be fully funded, and the specter of a government shutdown will be not present until funding runs out in this legislation, which is September 2023, Kira.
Well, speaking of 2023, Republicans are poised to take control of the House in just a little more than a week now. So how are they reacting to the bill passing?
Well, there's a lot of House Republicans who didn't like the way this deal was struck. Again, you had 9 House Republicans who voted for this legislation, but the vast majority of House Republicans who will be in power come January 3rd when they take control of the House didn't like the way that this omnibus was crafted. Kevin McCarthy took to the floor earlier. He summed up some of what Republicans are saying on the Omni. Here's what he had to say.
This is a monstrosity that is one of the most shameful acts I've ever seen in this body. The appropriations process has failed the American public, and there's no greater example of the nail in the coffin of the greatest failure of a one-party rule of the House, the Senate, and the presidency of this bill here.
So that's Kevin McCarthy there, summing up the concerns that some of his fellow members of the House GOP conference have said, which is that they don't like how much is packed into this omnibus spending bill that funds the government. It's also worth pointing out there, Kevin McCarthy poised to be the next Republican Speaker of the House if he can get 218 votes to become Speaker. So his opposition to this omnibus made even more prevalent by the fact that he's right now whipping his colleagues to try to vote for him to become Speaker of the House, which is the next hurdle Congress has to cross on January 3rd. They have to pick their next Speaker.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.